So today, I've got some new arrivals. These are from West Africa, bred here in America. This is Cytala horrida, the horrid king assassin bugs. Been waiting to get these for a while. Packaging looks really great. So we're supposed to be getting 10 nymphs. Oh, no way. Yeah, boy. Looks good, looks good. And there's a dead dubia roach. Looks like a few molted. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks like there's 10, 11, 12, maybe. So that's good. It's always good to pack a little over. Can't tell if they're molts or if they're living, but yeah. So now that we've got them out, we're going to move them into the enclosure. Wow, look how fast they are too. Beautiful color. Absolutely amazing individuals. Wow, look at that. Orange legs, bulbous red body. And when these get older, they're going to have spines all over their thorax. Very long legs. These are communal animals, so you can keep all the individuals together. This is so exciting. I've been waiting for this species for a very long time. Very cool. Alright, so I'm going to cut, and then we're going to go get the enclosure, and we'll film from there. Alright, so we got the enclosure ready. This has logs, fake plants, a lot of surface areas, and there's a small cave at the bottom over here, made from a knot in a pine tree that I carved out. So this is going to provide them lots of hiding spaces and vertical space so that they can molt. From what I heard, these guys need to be able to hang in order to molt. Otherwise it doesn't go too well for them, right? So we're just going to open this nice and slowly. And they've all gathered onto the bottom to hide from the light coming off of the phone. So we're going to set this at the bottom because they are pretty fast and I don't want them running up my hand. Alright, so we're going to set these down here. And these are small, these are juveniles, right? So they shouldn't have a very bad bite, but you know, why take the risk? So we're gonna get our tongs, see? And we're just gonna gently pick a corner. Very small corner where there's probably not any individuals. And we're gonna give them time to move out of the way. So we're just doing this really slowly, making very slow, deliberate movements, not freaking out. If some want to stay in the plastic, they can, that's fine. And we're just gonna flip this over, set it down. There they all are. Wow, look at them go. Very cool. Very beautiful animals. So they're red and orange and all these different colors for aposematism, which is to basically say, hey, I don't taste good, don't eat me, because they have an attack that they can do where they excrete nasty fluid. It just tastes terrible. Not that I would know. I'm not eating bugs out here, people. Anyway, we're just gonna coax them to leave. You see that? How he turned around on it? They're very curious animals. Considering that, I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to remove the bottom part and verify that these are molts and not living animals. And that's a dubia roach that got absolutely plowed by like all of them. Doesn't look like we have any dead individuals from shipping. These all look like molts. There's another dead feeder. So it looks like we have a good successful transfer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, there was one extra. Unless that's a molt right there. Let me check. Hello, sir. Are you alive? Yes, you are. Wonderful. Alright, so these guys are really small and fragile and also very expensive. So I'm going to leave that egg crate in there. And I'm going to let them decide to leave on their own. And because they're new to the house, right, I think it would probably be in everyone's best interest to give them privacy. So I'm going to put them somewhere in the house. And I'm not going to disturb them for a bit. I'm going to check up on them, but I'm not going to, like, jostle them any more than I need to. And then we'll, probably give them some food later. But yeah, these are the king horde assassin bugs. These live in Africa. Very interesting species. They don't have, these are true bugs, so they don't have normal mouth parts like scorpions or like with a centipede, you know how it has those little tiny mouth parts, and then the giant toxicognaths. Doesn't have any of that. What these guys have is basically a giant, sharp turkey baster, and they jab that into their food, and then they inject enzymes to pre-digest it before they suck it back up, right? So it's like a assassin with a poisonous knife, right? That's where the name comes from. They're very stealthy. There's even some species of assassin bugs where they will put corpses of the dead insects that they catch on their bodies as a sort of camouflage. And then in the US, the one that's most common species of assassin bug is also known as kissing bugs. But these don't do that. They just run around, eat other animals, chill, make babies. Pretty cool. I'm here to show you what I got from Lone Star Arachnids. We got 2 giant Texas redhead centipedes, Scolopendra heros castaniceps, the green morph. We're going to be unboxing them today, and we're going to be putting them in new homes. I gotta make sure I don't show any of my personal information on here. But in the package, there's some really cool stickers. This is awesome. Absolutely fantastic. You know me, I'm always a sucker for those. Alright, and we're back. So, because I don't know if these had gotten out or not, we're just gonna wear some gloves and be doubly sure. It's always better to take extra steps and prepare yourself than not prepare yourself. Okay, so it looks like they are in the newspaper. Okay. There's one. Oh man, look at that. Man. Now ain't that just the cutest thing you ever saw? Wow. Oh, it's fogging up from the heat in the room. Alright, so we're going to set him down. Here's another little boy or girl. See if I can dim the light down, make it easier to see. Oh, nope, not really. Makes it harder. Wow, look at that, huh? Let's see if I can trick the camera into doing its job here. Oh, come on, focus, baby. Come on. If I zoom out a little bit. Well, either way, we'll see them when we get the enclosures and cups set up. But wow, look at that. So beautiful. Absolutely adorable little creatures. Yeah. Look at that little beautiful treasure. Wow. That is just the most darling thing. Look at that. And it's cleaning itself. Oh, look at how beautiful those antennas are. Fully intact antennas. Don't see any mycosis. Looks like it's got all its legs. Oh, this is splendid. What a fantastic day today is, folks. Wow. Look at that. Wow. Oh, look at that. The tail. The terminal legs are a different color than the head. Ooh. Now that is beautiful. Whew, man. What beauties. You know, these may not be crazy huge like the Galapagos or a white beard or anything like that. You know, they don't get crazy like that, but I think they're very beautiful. I love them. Now comes the fun part, which is going to be getting enclosures set up and then praying that they behave themselves and go into their tubs. So we're going to get that set up and then we're going to go. Alrighty, we're back. I mean, we never went anywhere. So, these should be fine to house them in. Then when they get to about a certain size, we'll move them up. And then we'll keep moving them up, and we'll keep moving them up until they get nice little houses, like the Dehani and the Galapagos. The Galapagos is just very thick and strong. And it's also, like, you know, a little bit too big for these, so I'm not going to keep it in there. The idea with centipedes is generally you want them in something that they're not going to be able to just like take a crisp walk and be able to just fly out of, right? So, okie dokie. So this is nice and compacted, so it's good for burrowing. Then we're going to slip this bad boy in here, like that. Give it a nice little gap, right? So see that gap? Remember what I always tell you guys, right? When you're doing rehousing for centipedes, what's the number one thing you need to do to prevent them from freaking out? You have 5 seconds. Alright, if you said give them a spot to hide, you get bonus points. Because you're right. You always want to give them a place to escape. Because these are actually prey animals for a lot of animals out in the wild. So if you give them a place to disappear, they're going to disappear. Alright. These aren't monsters. They're just little blind animals that just want to eat bugs, make babies, and carry on. That's all they want to do. They don't care about putting bugs or laying eggs into your brain or anything like that, you know. Nothing like that. So, just treat them with kindness and respect, you know. Same you'd give for a dog or a cat, right? You're not gonna walk up to a cat and poke it in the face because they'll probably scratch you, right? And if you do that and you get scratched, you can't really say, "Ooh, that cat's mean." Now, can you? The same for these guys, right? Except these things are a lot smaller and they don't have good eyesight. So basically anything that touches them could be something trying to eat them. They don't know, right? They don't know any better. So give them the benefit of the doubt. Be nice to them, you know. Don't do anything mean or mean-spirited. What looks good? What part looks good, chat? Let's go with a little bit of this. A little bit of, right there feels kind of good. Right about there. That looks about right. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, I'd say that's a nice looking piece. Shake it off, shake it off. And we're just gonna put this the same general spot. Keep the orientation relatively familiar. Try not to make things overly complicated. And these things are from the desert. So they do like it a little bit drier, right? But over time this stuff will dry out anyway, so it's fine. Give them some leaves, some leafage, some foliage. Give them some foliage so that they can have more places to hide instead of just under the substrate the entire time, because if they do that, well, it'll get rather boring very quickly, wouldn't it? And besides, I think it looks pretty. I say it looks very pretty. This will also offer, like, ooh, look at this one. Look how curly that is. That's perfect. That is what I call a good leaf right there. Yeah. Let's see if we can find a nice little... Yeah, it's a nice little, like, dude looking leaf. Yeah, it's a cool little guy. Alright. Now I'm not going to put the water in right away, because, I never really do, because as soon as they go in, they're going to run around, try to find a place to hide, right? I really don't want them crawling into the water dish and waterboarding themselves, first thing. So, now, we're going to prep for our next step, which is going to be to take these guys, remove the tape, and then we're going to put them in the enclosures. Alright, so now the next step is going to be getting them into these one at a time, safely for both me and the invertebrate. I'm just going to start with opening these really nice and slow with my knife. Oh, never mind, it's electrical tape. It's a nice electrical tape. I don't think I even need a knife. Fantastic. Excellent. Just going to gently peel this off. So the trick with this is we're going to open this lid without taking it off. So the idea is we're going to use our thumb and fingers on the bottom. We're going to depress it, keep it depressed, because even though he's small, he's still probably really strong, right? And we're going to set this like this, nice and gently, in the general middle. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put on gloves, right? So I've got right glove on, left glove on, and we're going to use tongs and my little encouragement device. And so all we're going to do is we're just very gently going to remove the top. And if he gets out of this, it'll be fine, because he's still in a larger enclosure, right? That is pretty. Oh my god, that is pretty. Wow. Wow, look at that. Oh my god, I gotta stop everything I'm doing just to zoom in on this little guy. Oh my goodness. You are so cute. Look at that. Wow. Life don't get much better than that, folks. I know that sounds crazy, but, you know. When I was a little kid, I used to watch a lot of animal documentaries and stuff growing up, and I was always like, oh man, It'd be so cool to own that. Woo! And my parents were not exactly on board with owning a king cobra or a Goliath bird-eating spider, or, you know, whatever have you. So as time went on, and then I got crazier and crazier animals. I eventually got them to crack. Oh, no. Can I just do my own thing, you know? And through learning about these animals, he's biting the enclosure. That's funny. Oh, he has like a little orange on his things. Very aggravated creature. See, remember you guys thought that the Dehani really hated light? There's a little baby guy. He's going bonkers about this stuff, right? Just gonna tilt this, give him a natural direction to go down. There you go, buddy. Yay! Nice and happy for a centipede. Boop. Yep. It really is that easy sometimes if you just let things play out on their own. It really is just that easy. We'll take this lid, and then we'll do this nice and gently. Okay. And using the glove. Okay. We will click this on nice and gently as to not freak him out. Alright, that's in place. We're going to get ready for number 2. Now remember, these are all different animals, right? They're all individuals. So they might behave differently. So as long as you have a set of expectations, you'll be able to predict behavior to a degree. You can't predict everything. You're not God. But you can be smart and rationalize, and in doing so, and having reasonable expectations, you can be very safe and never get bit or have hairs kicked in your face or whatever, right? And then when I say that, I'm talking about old or New World tarantulas. These don't have projectile weapons, centipedes. They are the projectile weapon. Ooh, they're so fast. Look at that. Gadzooks. Whew, that is pretty. You are a pretty little thing. Oh, look, this one also has the tipped colors on the terminal legs. Wow, man, this is so pretty. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Okay, so same as last time. Gentle, gentle, gentle. Keep it depressed, but don't click it back down, right? So like this lid can come off, but we're not going to let it. So we're going to set this back here. We're going to set it level. And so what do we expect from this to start happening? Well, as soon as we get the lid off, it's going to start freaking out because it's exposed to light. And then it just felt the air shift, right? So we know it's going to be waving its arms around, just like the one earlier was, because it's uncomfortable. It's exposed, basically, and it wants to hide away from predators. So what are we going to do? Glove up, glove up. Tool. Tool. We're going to get back into it. And the camera decided to stop focusing. It's okay, camera, I understand. I'm not very interesting either. Okay, focus on this. Lock in. Alrighty, put the glove back on. Alright, here we go. And this one could behave completely differently. This one could just not give a damn, right? but it's probably not going to be the case. Okay, so we're taking the lid off. Specimen's not moving, but you know it's awake. Okay, so I'm just going to tilt this very gently. Okay. We'll give it a few minutes. Well, seconds really. So the terminal legs look like they're spread apart, but they're not really up. So we'll just give a gentle touch. And it turns into a yoinky sploinky machine. Very nice. And it went into its burrow. Went somewhere in there. More than likely anyway. So we're going to slowly and confidently remove the top, or the container. I don't see it on the bottom. Did you guys see it run back in? Probably not. Good. Okay. Now we're gonna get the lid on this, and then we'll continue on. Okay. So, after a brief interruption, I'm back. I'm gonna put the lid back on this, nice and slow. I assume it's still in there. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to double check the substrate, make sure there isn't like a third one that somehow managed to magically get his way inside. Yeah, I don't see anything. Okay. You guys see how fast they can move, right? Even as babies, as juveniles, they're incredibly swift. So feeding these over time, it's going to be phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Double checking the substrate. Doesn't look like there's anything in here. Alright, cool. So now that that's over with, we get to close this all the way off. I've seen all sorts of interesting things in the world. And centipedes, invertebrates, reptiles in general, even birds, amphibians, fish, animals are just by far a lot more interesting than what's going on in the rest of the world.